Transition, the process of change from one condition to another.
We are now at a new crossroad where change is evident once again.
What does not serve us must transform us anew.
Returning to our original state of oneness and true nature of that which created who we truly are.
Confusion was the way of the past. Enlightenment is the way of the now and future. Shedding away the layers of deceit.
We now bring you the transformation of the two who started as one. Our fearless planet never stands still.
Earth has been in a process of transition, and we are not exempt from this remarkable ongoing reality.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk with the Cummings. My name is Mark Angelo.
And I'm Lena Ariel. Thank you guys for coming in on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
We have a lot to share and a lot to say.
Yeah.
A lot to clear up. A lot to let people know. But not because you deserve to know, but because we are completely honest about our lives. And we don't hide anything.
I've had this channel since 2006, and you all could go back, way, way back. I mean, that's many years, 2006, and we're 2019. That's a lot of years having YouTube.
It is a long time.
When YouTube originally opened up, I was creating, and doing music and all sorts of stuff. And, it doesn't give people the right, just because we share our life, to tell us what you think we are, how we should be, or what we're not, or this, that, and the other, and create your own little scenario. This is not days of your life, or as the world turns. We do what we do mostly for education, because we do a lot of educational stuff, and a lot of people really do appreciate what we put out there. But we're not here to be your target practice. We don't owe anyone anything,
right?
And it's like we got a comment last night. Really, they were watching TV and we received a notification. And I guess I'll let you go right into it, because it's somebody that
I wanted to just be completely forthright about everything with regards to this past year in our lives has been so tumultuous. There's so many things that have taken place in our lives, and we've moved from here to there, and you've been to Florida, I've been to Washington. We've been all over the map.
Detransition, gone from not believing in God to
non-Christians, going to church, not going to church. Traveling, road trips, you name it. I had so many things going on. And and throughout that time, I had been struggling with the connection that I had lost with my, children from before. And it's now going on, let me see, today's November 10th, 6 years ago tomorrow, I started hormones. And I left 6 years ago today, back in 2013, from my home. And so ever since, all of the changes in my life and stuff, and then connecting with you and becoming a part of your life, you've had massive amount of followers, watching you transition, seeing you on Maury Povich and Montel Williams and all the other shows and stuff, Spanish TV. And this person said that she literally watched you when you first transitioned and you were on the show, literally on the live show with Maury Povich. Okay. And that was back in 2006. Okay, so this person who literally became someone who was not just a person that watched your videos,
A stalker.
but literally got into our lives and our personal business and made it her business to do whatever she wanted to do with regards to her plan and stuff. I don't know what all it entailed. I really don't. All I know is that we were dealing with some issues online. And I remember that I was getting to the point where I was getting offended by the comments that, you were taking and making about trans people. Remember back in January and stuff like that, February, we started having little tit for tats, online on the air. And so this person, she emailed me, and for to protect this person's identity and to not get ourselves legally messed with, or we'll just call her Mary Beth.
Right. Okay. So during that time, we had a lot of struggles with an individual online that we followed for quite a while, and there was a lot of like religious, like, we went back and forth because we were watching religious videos, and it was like we were struggling, as most people struggle, because of the way we were raised. We've been told how bad we are and that we're sinners and all that stuff. So there was a lot of turmoil, which is very normal for individuals who have been raised. I was raised Jehovah's Witness, you were raised evangelical, whatever, Protestant, or whatever. And you struggle. So you struggle with your identity, your choices, not because you don't know who you are, but because the world doesn't see you. All right. So we were going through problems because of the whole, it was very stressful during that time where we were battling and having disagreement with another YouTuber. And then, that we had a bunch of people behind us rallying because, we stood up against it.
We got into some really interesting types of people back about a year ago today. Right. Starting around now, we started listening, and we became, really like hooked on watching their videos and stuff like that. And they really kind of resonated with us because
we're truth seekers.
Yeah, we were trying to really find out, more about what was happening.
Yeah, spirituality. So there was a lot of stress during that time because there was a lot of, again, drama, confusion, lies, and things that were being drawn by the different camps. And so we ended up becoming friends with one camp, and we're being, not, we want to respect. Yeah, we don't want to like name names, but the one camp that we were pro and now we're against, and they're all, then they started fighting us. A lot of Christians came again, trying to belittle us, hurt us, do the things that they normally do when you don't follow their wants and their needs. Right. And that created a lot of stress in us. And then you were also continuing to deal with stuff with your children. And one of our viewers kind of told you, Lynn, I think you may be resenting Mark.
Yeah, right? There was a woman who was from Australia who became a moderator actually on our group, and she offered some personal counsel to me in the form of a messenger message on Facebook. And she suggested that the reason that maybe I was having these issues with you and the negativity and stuff that we were promoting or exhibiting online was because I felt like maybe, and she was asking me, is it that you were resentful towards Mark? Is it you're resentful that he's taken you away from your children? And Mark and I have been through this before. We've dealt with dealing with the resentment issue, and I knew, and
rejection from the children, because of us getting married and stuff like that.
Right. And the non recognizing of our relationship and our marriage and everything was just really kind of like the world stopped for those that were in my life before back in 2013, 14, and it never progressed as I lived my life, as I made my choices, as I became the person that I am today, they did not want to see that development at all. So,
and I want to add, between all those ups and those downs, and the family not being supportive, and I was trying to do everything possible to make things right. That's when my detransitioning whole thing began, and it's like seeing Lena depressed, in pain, depressed, always upset. I mean, it was just like, oh gosh, it's like I wasn't used to that. I was used to just like having a relationship and just normal relationship, but this was just this roller coaster ride, and it just it blew up, and I was like, you know what? I'm over this. I'm over. You resent me? Go be with your kids. I want somebody in my life that could love me and devote their life to me. I have no problems with the kids. I was willing to do whatever, and I would sit there and encourage you to, talk to them. They ignored, you would call, and then there was like no response.
Right.
They really didn't care.
But that's a whole other thing, And for those of you who like have been privy to this information because we've been so open about it, it does not give you the license to judge our decisions.
Exactly.
To offer your viewpoints about what I should do or how we are and why we are the way we are, and giving us your armchair therapist type, explanation.
We're not asking.
We are individuals, and we share our lives here on YouTube. But there is so much of us that we do not share. We have a show. We bring about those issues. We bring about some personal things occasionally because that is the kind of people that we are. But our show is not about, it's like I have a channel. It's called Lena's Life. I made that channel into something like I wanted like it to be a demonstration of what my life was, what was going on in my life, the life of a 40-something transition woman.
This channel is never.
This channel is not that.
I've always had this
transition
channel,
radio,
right? And then it's been about my music, art, my travels. When I had my new beginning travels when I was with my ex-wife, and things of that nature. But I've never gotten really personal, with my life because it's my life. I don't find it necessary for anyone to tell me that I'm mentally this and that and the other, that we're liars, it's like, you don't have to watch and you don't have to comment unless you're, we like the comments, but don't sit here and try to give us your 2 cents when we're not asking you for that. We're not. And then you've got people, and certain individuals you're going to talk about that has been trolling, stalking, literally. The person tells me, come on, ask me anything. I know everything about your life. They thought that was like something great. I thought that was the creepiest thing ever. It's like, what? So you've been following me. And then when my wife and I were having problems, you were like digging and throwing little pebbles and trying to lure her in. And I don't care what you could deny it all you want, but it's, it's pretty messed up.
So back on February 20th of this year, Mary Beth contacted me through one of her many, many anonymous accounts. This one was a Gmail account. And she basically wanted to know if I had received the email so that she can begin communicating with me. And her first email was about how she had a family member who didn't accept her, and she was dealing with things, and she was just trying to kind of connect with me in a way to understand that, that discrimination, that kind of thing is something that, that she could relate to, and just wanted me to know what, that she was behind me and supporting me and everything. And we started talking, and then she sent me videos, literal videos of what Mark's behavior was like when he was with Jessica, when he was with Violet, the two women that he was with prior to me. So there was this thread that she was trying to reinforce, which was the thread of control, the thread of like, making you their slave. And, she kind of reinforced that by telling me that these videos kind of confirmed that, it was a good thing that I was getting out of this relationship. We ended our show. I was in tears and sad and everything. And we were talking about things, and it was a painful thing to say goodbye on the show and everything. But what she did was she saw that there was an opening. And this is a person who has literally been watching Mark since 2006. Since
Obsessed.
2006. And this person literally has watched every one of Mark's videos, every single one of them, not just once, but many times. So Mary Beth, which is not really her name, that's the name of her mother who passed away. And she also used an account called, that was a deceased sister, So this person really wants to protect their anonymity. They do not want to be exposed. They gave me specific instructions later on when we did meet and everything. But this person really started befriending me. They sent me, they saw that I was cutting, fruit with that knife that we use now, ironically. But she sent me some kitchen knives, right? And she was like, here you go, Lena, now you can have things, like you didn't have things before. So, and then she sent me a whole bedspread, like a whole, we still have some of the pillows and everything. And, there's a king size bedspread with all the matching sheets and everything. And I mean, everything, like it was like a big package send, right? So I was like really elated to know that someone like that was caring for me like that,
Yeah.
So did you want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, so then we broke up, obviously. Mark went into his
I was
his
devastated.
ministry.
Yeah, I was totally devastated with okay, here you have this marriage. It's been rocky, not just because of us, but because of all the things that have happened around us, lack of family support, you being hurt and depressed because you haven't had your kids in your life, and every time you try to make contact, it didn't happen. So I got to the point I was, you know what, I am over this. I can't continue to do this. So, we decided to part ways. I was so fed up with everything that I'm like, I'm detransitioning. That was like my go-to. I had never once, prior to being with you, did I even think remotely of detransition. It was not part of my vocabulary. No. It wasn't even part of my thought process.
No, it wasn't at all.
Okay.
So here we are. It's February 20th. I'm in a conversation with Mary Beth. And Mark finds out that Mary Beth is talking to me negatively. And I told, because we were in a relationship and we were married, I had to tell him the truth about what was going on. And I told you that she was saying things about you that were negative. Right?
And I'm like, what is she saying?
And then you sent off a message to her.
Yeah, because
and you ringed her out.
Yeah.
Basically, you said, how dare you talk to my wife? How dare you say these things? And all that. So then she responds, and this is the email that I got from her on the 20th at almost midnight. Oh my God, why all the drama? What's the point? And this is when you were detransitioned. Was she going to tell me that I can't have an opinion of what she puts out there, voluntarily puts out there? Does she think I want something from you? And what is my place? Some lesser status than her? She has no clue who I am and where I've been and what I've done. I will match credentials and see who prevails.
I mean, right there tells you I will match. This person is so like elitist mentality. It's like, this is what I've done for you and what I give people. And like, she has people that she's done things for, but has them eating like slavehood, almost like type
Nobody
of thing.
rolls over me. I simply do not allow it. I could fill an auditorium with people who I have helped in my life, but I don't need to talk about it.
And I'm narcissist.
The doing of good things is about love and giving of what we have to others so that their plight might be improved. My last big effort was to fund a community build of a home for a Mexican family of 4 living in a moldy trailer. We sourced from anywhere I could find, used a donation. I used my inheritance from my sister to pay for the house. They pay me back over 30 years at $300 a month. I will be long gone by then, and my will pays off any remaining balance. I don't talk about what I do. I just do it. I try to create positive memories for kids, especially the Mexican kids who might not have the family resources to have things. I wrote to you because I felt you needed support.
Okay, and that's how this person does this. You know, reels them in. I have this, I have that, and da 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 da. Sending gifts, doing whatever. Somebody who's been watching me since 2006 decided they wanted to play in the production. They wanted a role in that production.
I wrote to you because I felt you needed support, and having gone through a divorce in 2012, that I had an idea that you might appreciate. Another neutral friend who is simply there to say, I'm here. You aren't alone. It won't always be this way. I am glad I did not give her an outlet to read me out over the phone. It's immature. Even if I am a total asshole, I have no relationship with her, nor a need to have one. She doesn't need to tell me how to think. I have no plans to publicly say anything. It's not my rodeo. But in a fight, I think Kathy Bates at her most fierce.
So, you know, because it's people are probably going blah, blah, blah. So here we have this. Let's go into, not only does this person have multi anonymous accounts on YouTube, okay? What do they do? Which when I found out.
Okay, so this is what happened after we broke up. I moved to Park City. Mm-hmm. I kept communicating with Mary Beth. Mary Beth offered me refuge for Shadow and I to go to a beach house in Oregon or in Washington and to just kind of de-stress and decompress, right? Mm-hmm. From losing you and the relationship and the marriage and everything. So I decided that I was going to ask Mary Beth what she thought about me coming up there temporarily to visit. And so she asked her girlfriend if it was okay. And I eventually made my way up there. Mm-hmm. Okay. And this was in the heat of you and I like being at total odds with each other. I was trying in Park City. I was trying to stay away from you and everything you were saying. I wasn't really watching your videos as much because I was focusing on just, trying to get my life together. I had attempted to relocate back to Hendersonville where my children were, and that didn't work out very well. I literally almost got an apartment in Utah. I was going to stay there. I had been approved, but then I thought, I don't know anybody. I'm just going to, take a chance. So I went to go visit Phoenix I Am up in Montana. She gave me a place to stay. This was another person who was on YouTube that used to be my friend, I guess, right?
Was our friend.
Be our friend, during the whole, that other person that we were involved with back when,
Yeah.
So I drove up to Washington where she lived, and she gave me a place to stay, and she let me have a room, a bathroom. Said, Lena, I do not want you to pay for anything. I just want you to heal. I want you to live your life and not to focus on any destructive, conversations. But see, the moment that I got there, she was completely infatuated with watching every one of your videos. Not just once, but several times. And it was unhealthy for me because I was trying to put you in my past,
right.
And she was just egging it on. Like, Lena, did you see this? So in the morning we would wake up, we would sit down in front of the TV, watch your show and go, I can't believe that. I can't believe she's saying that. I can't believe that, and all this stuff. And so as time went on, Mary Beth decided that she had had enough of what you were doing. And she premeditatedly conceived to stalk you and harass you
Mm-hmm.
by coming up with a male persona
Yeah.
that she was going to give
Catfishing.
life to.
Mm-hmm.
His name, if any of you remember watching Mark's show way back then, he was called the Miller Man.
The Miller Man.
And he also was a friend. When Mary Beth actually friended you on Facebook, she's
Friended
like,
other people that are
I'm
Christian.
in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah, because what they did was they friended other people of ex-gays and ex-trans. And so I thought, oh, this is, I was like, cool, because I was just letting all sorts of Christians
So
friend me.
James is this person who she created out of the thin air. And on the drive to Wenatchee one day, she said, Lena, are you okay if I, do this? And, I'm not going to implicate you at all. I'm like, wow, I would never think about doing such a thing. How can you come up with so many scenarios in your head? She's like, oh, I have James all figured out.
Yep.
He has a deceased wife. He's a
Cancer.
Widower.
Mm-hmm.
He lives in Salem, Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
His wife died of cancer. And I am a person who, I'm just going to add all these things. I'm going to say that I'm a Christian, and James would send you videos, like Christian videos, and say, listen to this beautiful song. It reminds me.
Let me say something real quick.
It was so concocted.
When anybody would ask me to be friends on Facebook, I always scream because, trying to protect myself. I don't want to let anybody in, the circle. And then I ask, what was your interest? Oh, I was listening to your music, and I really love your music, and I love what you're doing with your ministry, and so forth and so on. So I was like, seems like a nice guy enough, Christian, blah, blah. And I would get emails every day or instant messages every day from this person. Even during the day that I went on my journey, they were wishing me, be careful, have you done this? I mean, really caring.
She was so
she
was so like happy about getting in. She got in on Facebook. She got in on one of your chats and stuff, and was acting as if she didn't know how to, do anything like with getting a handle on YouTube,
the chat.
And that you helped her, and he would, she would also like flirt with you sometimes. And this was like, absolutely
these
insane.
are the kind of people that we deal with, okay, on a daily basis. People that just think that, I don't know, that we're their best friend, and they watch our show, and not just Mary Beth. I'm talking about a lot of people. So they get so emotionally invested, and then when things don't work out, or we come back together again or whatever, they go crazy. There was this one guy who had some weird website and started making up all sorts of stories about me, that I was friends with Anita Bryant, and I was part of.
There was this
craziness
that we had been at odds with when we were doing our anti-trans rant against children in 2015 against young trans kids. And he called me and told me that you had been involved with Anita Bryant as a lesbian back when in the 80s, and that you had this.
I was in high school.
That they knew you back then, and that you were like totally anti-gay, and that
I was
you
in
had
high
an
school.
agenda.
I hadn't even come out as gay yet.
I was like, where do these people come from? And they were telling me that they were intersex, or they had, some different genitalia. I was it was like so weird. I don't know. You and I, we attract a lot of weird people.
We do.
And what did your Dr. Reed back in Florida
Oh my God, I used
say?
to be a moderator for Dr. Reed, who does SRS on transgender individuals, both MTFs and FTM. And I was a moderator, and I was just dealing with really people that were not okay in the head. And I would I get frustrated. I'm like, Dr. Reed, it's really hard to moderate. These people are just, and he goes, Mark, don't take it serious. Some of these people are really psychotic. He had to have literally a bulletproof reception window, because some of the individuals were really not all there. And I'm not saying that every trans person is crazy. Obviously we're trans, but I think that the community has gathered come one, come all, and the internet breeds a lot of crazy people. We're called crazy, we're called narcissistic, and it's like the kettle calling, what is that saying? The kettle calling,
The pot calling the kettle black.
Seriously?
So here we have Mary Beth. I have become friends with Mary Beth now. I feel so welcomed into her home. She has been nothing but nice to me. Everything is going my way. She is just, giving me a bed, and she bought a mattress for me. It was like, I was so grateful. I would do anything for her. I would clean out her refrigerator. I would pick up the poop that her dogs had, out in the backyard. I was like, what can I do to repay you? She's like, you don't have to pay me anything. I just want to help you, So she comes up with this character, James. And James is always on the show with you guys over there.
Miller Man.
Yeah.
Chat. Yeah.
James is participating and giving his insight, and he is texting, Facebook messaging you.
Yeah.
She's like, Lena, guess what? Last night I spoke with Mark for like an hour, texting on Facebook, and just sharing my life, and I'm gonna set this up for failure. I could keep this going forever, that, right? And I'm like, wow, so you're coming up with all that. Yes. And eventually I want James to say that he's going to meet Maritza at a mall in Florida. And when he sees Maritza, he's going to say and text her that she's too ugly, and just like totally want to destroy you. This is the mind of this person who on the outside is so nice to me, gives me all these nice things. I get to drive her convertible car, and she loves to poke digs at you and stuff. She's like, Lena, we're at Walmart one day, and I'm just trying to get things and stuff. She's like, Lena, that looks like the bra that Maritza was wearing during that show that she did. Why don't you take a picture with her with that bra, and let's just do an inside joke, and then I did it, and I laughed, and we laughed about it, and it was funny, and I posted it on Facebook, and you saw it and just got you all upset.
Yeah,
so this person's constantly trying to dig and create all this animosity towards you because of what you were saying, because they wanted you to suffer, and they wanted you to suffer over time.
And it's been stalking me since 2006. It's when I met Mary Beth, because we drove, and she literally asked me anything about you. I know everything about you. I was like, no, really don't.
This is really creepy.
Creepy.
So
now, you're trying to take my woman, ends up paying for.
So here we are, and one day she's like, I don't know how it got on the subject of breast augmentation. I don't know how it got on the subject, but she's like, Lena, what would you like in life? And I'm like, well, I would love to have breasts. I've struggled getting them. I've taken hormones, and I must have been a late bloomer here with not blooming at all, with my transition, and it was really frustrating, right? So she's like, well, honey, let's get you boobs. And she hugs me, and she does the legwork, and she looks up people, and she's like, I want you to get the best boobs. I want you to get the best person to do your breasts and stuff. And, so she was all on board. She took me to Seattle. She paid for it. Eventually, she was there when I got them. She was there during the recovery. She was there for everything, right? And she was there. And one day when we were doing a video to just kind of document for my own purposes, because I would never air this on any kind of social media site, I was just sharing with with for historical purposes, what was going on, after I fainted and everything. And she's like, oh my gosh, this is starting to turn into like a lesbian porn video. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is turning into that. This is weird, so she ended up stopping the video, and I was like, whoa, that was interesting.
Yeah.
And this is a woman who obviously is already in a relationship,
who's had, and during the time that I was there, revealed to me the kind of beautiful women that she's had, that she's been able to give these women everything because she's been fortunate enough to have money, and on and on and on. And I'm like, yeah, and then you end up, like, bringing my wife or ex-wife, because we're divorced, luring her in, doing whatever it is that you did, and then ends up like we had like a little thing in the car.
Well, I mean, after the surgery and everything, things kind of went south between her and I, because she felt, I don't know what it was, but there was a point in one of the texts that she sent me where she said, I am taking care of your dog and you are wearing my boobs.
Again, we read in the beginning how I've done this for people, I've done that for people. It's like letting you know that you're wearing her boobs.
And I said, whoa, wait a second here. This is wrong, Mary Beth. You have just stated that I didn't, you told me that I didn't owe you, but then you're telling me that I owe you, because I said I will work my ass off to get you paid back for this $10,000 surgery that you gave me.
You didn't ask for it.
I didn't ask for it.
It was
I didn't ask for it. And, I basically, was shocked to hear that. And that's when I knew that, that things had to start rolling for me. I was not going to be living in Madsen for very much longer, because things were starting to kind of disintegrate between Mary Beth and I.
She mentioned something about signature and blood when you and I got back together again, that something about blood. What was that exactly that she quoted?
She said, I want your signature and blood, Mark, when, or something to the effect of like, that you like belong to me, or you owe me and stuff. And she will be fast to tell you. And she was on here one time on our show after we got back together and said, I did this out of my kind heart. I didn't expect anything from Lena. I didn't want anything, but you don't just throw out, you're wearing my boobs, for crying out loud. You don't just say that without that being something of relevance, because that is something that personally changed it all for me. And, basically she claimed that, she had, taken me in and that she was letting me go now to you, like she was my protector. Right. She was my person,
protector person. And then we had like,
we went to eat at a Mexican restaurant back in July, I guess it was, when we went over to pick up the things that I had. And we spent a couple days there. First night, the first day, everything went very smoothly. It was a very good experience. We had pizza with her, and we had good conversation.
I was trying to be amicable. I was trying, even though you knew that she was James. Yeah. Because somebody had, a little birdie told me way before then, and I kept it, it wasn't you, it was somebody else. And I was like, oh, and it's like, I don't even know where to begin. It's like, when we're on the journey, there was like code being placed between this other person and Mary Beth. Yeah, this other person who made several videos in the past about Mark, and then most recently, made comments and stuff, and they literally think that we're the one instigating. But no, what I was bringing up, that's the person that told me, and that's when I said, are you freaking kidding me? So this person that I've been communicating with is a catfish. It's actually Mary Beth. And I was like, whoa. And I know you guys, this is like
way too much drama.
Right. And the only reason we're bringing this up,
it.
the only reason, because yesterday, Mary Beth created another character and just started putting stuff on the last video we made. And
we had to yank it down because it was very inappropriate. It was very much out of line. And, you know, you don't accuse people of moral abuses and stuff.
And we have had battles. Obviously, those of you that have been watching our channel, Lena has said many things against me. I've said many things against Lena. Lovers quarrel. That's what people do. But that's between us. It's not between anybody else to sit there and repeat words that are not meant to be repeated. It is our relationship. You guys have been privy to watch. It's like Mr. and Mrs. James.
And sometimes we said way too much.
Yeah.
And sometimes we exposed ourselves way too much personal information throughout the years. And that is something that I initially, when I first transitioned, I lost my family. So I wanted to create a family here online with many of you, which now I know is not possible because you guys are just people that live your lives and you have your own friends and you have your own family and you have your own, you know, experiences. You know, this is a social media platform. And if anyone calls you a friend, I mean, I think that's one of the biggest, you know, I don't know how, you know, insults to the word friendship is that you cannot be someone's friend on Facebook. You are a person who maybe has certain things that you have in common that you might agree with, but you can't be a friend to someone on Facebook. You can't be a friend with someone you've never met before.
Especially if there's ulterior motives, you know, and there are people, not just Mary Beth, that have had marathon viewing, you know, and like just feel like they have the right.
They feel like they know us. I mean, when Mary Beth first met me, just like when Charlotte first met us, she had like these like stars in her eyes, as if we were like celebrities or something, and like we were somebody. But we're just nobodies, just like every one of you, you know, I mean, unless you're a movie star or, you know, we're just regular people, you know. So what ended up happening was that these people were able to bring us into their lives, you know. I mean, Char was able to bring us into her life, and she was like all like in awe of seeing, you know, us in person. And, you know,
it's just, you know, there is no right. You have no right to judge, to make rude comments, to come on our Facebook wall or to come on our YouTube
and take a dump on
us. You have no right to do that. Yes, we're putting our stuff out there because we wish to, but we're not asking for your opinion. We're not asking, you know, for you to tell us that we're lying, we're this, we're that, we're the other, we're this.
We're trying to mine information from people and take people's money, and that we need to somehow, this person yesterday, which is Mary Beth, said that we needed to apologize. I need to apologize to those of you who I had asked to sign a petition to get the, you know, Transition Radio Show off the air, that I need to apologize for that. I don't apologize for something that I should never have done. I mean, and for the many of you who did sign that petition, if you agreed with it at the time and you had, you know, pro-trans or pro-LGBT, you know, leanings towards wanting to sign it and everything, you know, that's great. But the fact is that that petition was drawn up out of a vengeful attitude that I had against Mark, against the person that I love. You know, we were having a lover's quarrel. So when another YouTube friend of mine, and I use friend loosely because I don't know these people. They're just anonymous people. I don't even know who they really are.
Right.
So a friend from New York who I spoke with several times, they basically said, look, I've pitched your whole petition out to, you know, many people in the gay community that know, you know, about, you know, how to be a person who is an advocate and all that. And they're saying that when they look at this and they see you and what you're saying, it's just two ex-lovers fighting, and this isn't about an issue. This isn't about trans or gay rights or anything like that. This is just an angry issue, and they will not support it.
Basically, this whole drama that you've seen unfold before your very eyes was based on two people who, from the beginning that they met and fell in love, have had a lot of challenges to face, from healing from a horrible accident, from having family members that were not supportive, from you losing your children, trying to get your children back. Our relationship has suffered galore. People butting in our lives constantly, emails, people playing with your head,
people literally cutting sources of income away from us, literally going to people and telling them to not allow us to get
removing my sponsors from a show that I had since 2012 that appeared on a network. It just, people don't even have a clue. You could come up with whatever scenarios you want, and you could judge me and you could say whatever it is. But go back to the beginning of this channel in 2006 and see the work that I've done, and see the work that I did with my ex-partner at the time, that we were pro-trans and helping the community, showcasing a lot of hard work and information has been put to a lot of the channel content. So the past 5 years of
they've been tumultuous.
Yeah,
they've been
totally.
Very, I mean, there's a purpose behind it all, and this had to happen because we are twin flames. We did make this happen for ourselves. We did want this to take place because we wanted to be refined. We wanted to, find, the meaning that we had, that the reason for why we even exist.
Exactly.
And this is bigger than just a show on YouTube. This was something that you guys got to see in the last 5 years, our lives get thrown around like some, rag doll, literally like a rag doll, between Christians and atheists and trans supporters and trans haters and, family members and, friends, faux friends, and people that you thought were friends. And I mean, this has been just
non-stop.
I mean, we got rid of our cats, and that was like, oh my God. It's like the world ended.
Everybody was like putting in their 2 cents. We're not
telling us we were bad
for
humanitarians.
Opinion. We're not asking for opinion. We're sharing our lives here on YouTube, but we're not like, tell us what you think. No. It's like we make mistakes, as many of you make mistakes, but the only difference is that you guys don't air your mistakes. We do. This is our channel.
Many of you who choose to comment negatively, you always have this account that you create that has no subscribers.
No,
has just been created the other day, and all you do is want to create something so that you could spew your venom and then expect to not be hurt back because they can't get me because I'm anonymous. It's here we are out here doing the hard work. We're the ones, I am Lena. You are Mark.
Those faces are out
names.
there. Yeah.
I mean, we don't even have stage names. This is who we are.
Yeah.
And we reveal so much about our lives. Maybe in error. Maybe in error.
Yeah.
And looking back, I regret ever exposing so much privacy about my own personal life. But I did it out of pain. I did it out of the loss. I did it out of just what it's like to be a trans woman in this day and age, when if you swim against the current, you're going to get beaten down. You're going to get knocked down. And we're a trans couple. Okay. So we have family members that literally hate us, literally, for being who we are. One family member blames, me for you being the way you are. Another family member blames you for being the way I am. And it's like, it's like this never ending, like reciprocating evil, flow. And then other people get into this flow of condemnation and criticism. And it could be Christians. It can be, trans, people that don't like us because we said something in the past. It could be anything. And all it is just a bunch of people just creating all this negativity. The person that lives two spaces down from me is an absolutely toxic person, has absolutely nothing good to share other than hurting other people.
Right.
They try, but they obviously have issues, mental issues that they deal with.
Right.
And, those are things that, it's like negativity breeds negativity.
Right.
Only negative people.
And the reason we came down here, because everybody, it's like that same person that wrote yesterday ended up saying, well, if you hate Portland so much, why don't you leave? And they mentioned that individual. It's like we could have gone anywhere.
Anywhere.
I received a workers' comp, claim. I had an attorney. I got hurt. So I had money to buy a place to live.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't want to throw money away in an apartment. We've done that so many times. So when you came to visit here.
Well, I came to visit because I was wanting to help a friend who was having a surgery for like a week or more stay. And I asked the person who, lives in this area if I could possibly stay with her.
Mm-hmm.
And she asked, and, everything was cool. Everything worked out. I wasn't trying to use this person. I wasn't trying to manipulate them. I wasn't trying to take from them anything. They offered, they gave. I took them out to dinner a few times.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I took them out to dinner a few times, and everything was wonderful. But I had no intentions of living in Portland. I had no intentions. I only heard this person tell me that there was a space available, but I didn't have an RV or a trailer or any access to one, or I didn't know what was going to happen. So I went back to Manson, and we had started talking. We had started communicating, and we were going to get back together. And the first thing on my mind was to fly out to see you and to get you and to be with you. I don't know.
It's Sunday night, so there's probably a lot of people online because we have a direct Ethernet, so we should have,
So anyway, we ended up, just, getting this opportunity.
Well, we were going to get in
this area.
We were going to, because you said, well, let's move to Portland, and
you can go back to.
Let me see. We were going to
turn that off.
Okay. We were going to get an apartment because we traveled all the way from Orlando when you came on the plane, and we drove across America, literally. And it was like, okay, well, where are we going to go? We weren't sure what we were going to do. Originally, when we were heading originally, because we were friends with the next door neighbor there, we're like, okay, I'll buy an RV, we'll check it out, and we'll move here. Well, the whole drama thing happened when we were driving.
What's going on?
I don't either.
So I guess we can't.
Working. Can you guys hear us, or is it just going round and
just
round?
Spinning in circles.
Let me see if I maybe change the setting lower because it's 720. Let me go to 480 and see if that helps.
I don't know.
It seems. Can you guys hear us okay? It says we have 5 watching, 7 watching.
Yeah, it's dropping because nobody can see it.
Let me go down further. I know what this happens. Low definition. It's
what's trapped out.
Yeah, it's.
How about if you go to Wi-Fi?
You think Wi-Fi is going to make it better? It's kind of knock it if I do that. Let me see. Oh, so I'm watching back up again. Let's see if that made it better. We're still going. Anyway, I don't know what's going on. We're looking like we're having some technical difficulty. But long story short,
we had no intentions of living here. It just so happened that we found a good deal, and we did our own legwork.
But we didn't want to spend thousands of dollars and get furniture on an apartment. It's even like with 4 something. It's still it's YouTube. It's probably a lot of people streaming and then just don't have.
Your end is very blurry and slow as hell.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. It's Sunday, and that's probably because we're directly on Ethernet. Everything should be working fine. It happens last time, and then it cleared up by itself.
I know, but it's not.
I don't know what's going on, guys. I think it's, Sunday night, but a lot of people online and doing whatever. It hasn't even changed to the lower resolution.
No.
No, it's really weird. Well, anyway, can you guys hear us at least? Is the audio working? There's no one watching now. That's really strange.
I don't know
why it does that.
How about if we just
want to do it on the phone, or
do it on YouTube?
Do it directly on YouTube.
Knockout live stream.
Okay, we're going to try to come back and see if this works better directly on YouTube without going through this particular. So we'll be back and see if this improves.